Hi, this is Alice T. Chan, the Staged Home Lifestyle Expert, and I want to welcome you to this video. Today I want to talk with you about some flooring do's and don'ts and give you some tips on what you should do when you're preparing your house to sell. Some do's to keep in mind is do try to limit the number of flooring changes, and in particular you want to keep this in mind when you're working with smaller spaces, because when you have too many flooring changes within a few steps of one another, it really chops up the space and makes the space look a lot smaller, and I'll show you some examples of that. And you almost always are better off opting for larger size tile versus smaller size tiles. And when you're choosing the finishes, make sure that they're in line with the price range of the house. So if it's a higher end home, you want to make sure that you choose higher end finishes. If it's a lower end home, you can choose less expensive options. But what you don't want to do is just choose low end resources because you're selling the property, because that will not please the prospective buyers. Also, when you're choosing flooring, you want to make sure it goes with the style of the house. So for instance, some of your older homes, the charm that comes with having an older home are the original hardwood floors. Now, over time, folks may have added wall-to-wall carpeting to it, and if that's the case, my recommendation is to remove the carpeting and have the hardwood floors refinished, and that will be a great selling point for your prospective buyer. Now, some don'ts that you want to keep in mind is you don't want to cut corners because your buyers will know. And one of these areas would be, again, when you're talking about hardwood floors are a huge selling point right now. Now, an inexpensive option to hardwood floors is laminate flooring. And laminate flooring was all the rage several years ago when it first came out. Now, I'm not a big fan of laminate flooring, and I would highly recommend that you don't opt for laminate flooring unless you're maybe working with a condominium, maybe low to mid-range condominium. But majority of the time when you're talking about a single family home, hardwood floors are really the way to go. And another caution that I would advise you against is shopping the bargain bin only. Because a lot of folks think that, okay, I'm selling the house, I just want to put the least expensive things that I can find in the property to get it ready for sale. Well, that doesn't always work in your favor. So think about what it is that you're getting, because it's not always the biggest bang for your buck. And you'd be surprised, sometimes just because it's not in the bargain bin doesn't necessarily mean that it's out of your price range or that it's expensive, because you can find very inexpensive options that are much better looking, better color choices, better pattern choices that really will reap you bigger benefits and a larger return on your investment in the long run. Another thing is, don't opt for buyer credit, because this is not an effective strategy. The problem with giving buyers credit at the close of escrow so that they could choose their own flooring after the close of escrow is that the value is just not apparent. Even though they know they're getting some money after the fact, the negative is going to stick in their mind that, you know, that nasty dirty carpet is in the house. So unless you're selling a complete fixer-upper, ideally you want to change the flooring prior to putting the house on the market. Now, I also want to caution you not to choose white or off-white thinking that this is the most neutral choice, okay? Because color is your friend, and as long as it's complementary with all the other finishes in the home, such as paint that you can easily put up on the wall, then some color is really going to be your better option. So here's some examples. As you can see in this particular before photo, the entry had 3 different flooring types immediately upon entry, and it really chopped up the space. So what we ended up doing was removing this 8-inch porcelain tile here that also had this really dark grout, and then also this dated linoleum flooring that was in the kitchen, replaced it with a 12-inch tile and chose a grout color that was very complementary to the tile color. So it really cleaned up that look significantly. And then we also, of course, changed the carpeting and making sure that we chose a color that was very complementary to the tile color. So when you actually looked at it, it opened up the space more, it felt a lot more expansive, and the space looked a lot bigger. In this second example, this is a single family home, and this was a much higher end home with a price tag to boot. So we wanted to make sure that the materials that we chose for this property was in alignment with the price range, and it reflected the price that we were asking for the property. So as you can see in this before photo, there were these blue gray 8-inch 6 or 8-inch porcelain tiles, and we replaced that with this high gloss creme and marfil marble tile entry, which instantly upgraded the look and feel of the space. What we also did was in the step down dining room and living room area where there used to be carpeting, we replaced that with hardwood floors, and we chose this really pretty dark wood color, and which was complementary to the existing wood that was in the house, but it wasn't too matchy, which is important. We don't want everything to just kind of blend in together. So another point is we also changed the carpeting on the stairwell that also led up to all the bedrooms upstairs, and we chose a color that was not an off-white, not a cream, not even a tan. It's actually a nice coffee color, which actually made a huge difference because it was very complementary to the existing wood finishes in the home, and it also allowed the marble entry to really pop and stand out, because if we actually went with a lighter carpet, then that entry would have blended too much into it and it would have been lost, and it would not have had the same effect. Now, when I say neutral does not mean white. These are some great examples. So in these two kitchens, as you can see, they have the same linoleum flooring. And there's some really great linoleum options out there now. And again, we're not going with white, off-white, cream, anything like that. We actually went with a faux stone look, and it's got these beautiful olive tones and golds and coppers in there. And it really pops off. And as you can see, it doesn't clash with anything. So in this, we have painted the cabinets a nice off-white. And the counters were like a laminate countertop. It was older, but it still worked, and it was very complementary to the new flooring. And as you can see, the appliances actually stand out against it, and it looks so much better. So imagine if that space was white cabinets and this kind of off-white countertop, and then if we had white appliances and then white flooring, everything is just this very sterile box. That would not have the same effect at all. Same thing in this other kitchen. We've got these maple cabinets, we've got a dark granite countertop, and even though her appliances were not exactly all matching, it works and it pops and it stands out. And because we also pulled a color out of the flooring and put it onto the wall, it really makes this so much warmer and so much more inviting than if we had just an all-white sterile space. So really, color is your friend. Embrace it. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you learned a lot about what options, what to do and what not to do as far as flooring options are concerned. Stay tuned to alicetchan.com for more effective home staging tips to help you create your own irresistible market-ready home that sells. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking with you in the next video.